Okay, today we're here on the grandma car again, the 99 Toyota Avalon. Window motor and regulator replacement. This is just a Rock Auto special. I think it was one of the last ones on a closeout, so I just snagged it. It was like 50 bucks. After shipping, it was like $75. So that's what we got here. I've already taken the interior door panel off. I used that little piece of wood there to prop the window up while I was waiting for the part to come in because we had some rain and stuff like that. And so that's just a temporary solution to hold the window up while I was waiting on the part. So this is my kids' car. They use it. Needed to get this window motor changed out so that it was safe for them to use. You know, if there was ever an emergency or something like that, they would need to get out in a hurry. That and my teenage daughters were embarrassed to go through like the coffee drive-thrus because they couldn't roll their window down, and so maybe they should thank me that I didn't fix it right away. So anyways, I was just testing it there. You saw at the beginning, had the switch, the window switch hooked up down here, the motor hooked up right here. So anyways, we'll just kind of talk through it here. I want to get this motor unhooked so I can start working, so I'll check back in just a second. Okay, little tip here. This only goes one way. When you start orienting the little studs here where they pop out, it's only going to go in one way. The hardest part is this top stud here, getting the track to come on the inside of the window, right? The track has to be inside the window, so the window, when it comes down, it's going to be on the far side of the track here. Here's the little carrier for the window. And so I kind of had to put the bottom and the motor in over this way, kind of had it leaned. And then I was able to work this stud up in here in this little trough and over, and I was able to push on the bottom part of the track, push it out far enough that the little corner pulley thing up here could tuck in behind the window. And so now it's got that top stud in place. Everything else will line up nice and neat. This stud gets bolted to, there's another steel, like a panel that covers all this up here. And I'll show you guys that here in just a minute. So anyways, it's super simple. All of the screws, except for the two carriers for the window, are Phillips. So you just need a Phillips head. These are 10 millimeter. A lot of them are 10 millimeter too, but they have a Phillips. So you can just get a Phillips head on your little driver and go to town. All of the interior door panel, they're all Phillips as well. So it's pretty straightforward as far as that goes. So yeah, good luck. I'll check back again. Okay, so I got all the bolts in place on the studs here, and these are 10 millimeter as well. They're not Phillips on these little studs, obviously. So, but pretty straightforward. Got 3 on the motor, 2 on the track, and then that third one when we put the cover back on, or I guess sixth metal, or sixth 10 millimeters bolt nut will go when we put the panel back on. There you go. Doesn't need to be like He-Man tight, but you want to get it tight so it doesn't rattle. Okay, so the motor and regulator are all back in place. So at this point, it's just starting. I'll lower the window down here and line it up on the carrier, get those bolts put in, Here, let's see if it'll go. The window's just sitting there free right now. There it goes. So this is where it's going to get tricky too, because it's going to want to rock and fall off track. So just take your time. I'm going to have to put the camera down because it's starting to wobble. But you can see here, just got to keep it on the track. And the goal here is these red things will bolt into that little carrier thing that rides on the track. So there you go. Okay, just check the tracks, make sure it's all in the tracks here. Bolts are tight. Track here on the outside. We're in the track here. Everything's lining up good. You just want to do a quick visual. Make sure everything's in the right places that it should be. Got all the nuts in place. Got the 2 bolts in the window. So now it is just reassembly at this point. So I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, we're gonna test this before we get it all snapped back together. I can't remember which side this little pigtail comes out, if it comes out behind the speaker, if it comes out. I don't think it's gonna come out over here because that piece that goes here is a solid metal deal, and I don't think it has any kind of little provision to let stuff come through. I could be wrong. I don't know, we'll see, we'll figure it out. But I'm just gonna test now that the window regulator and motor is all bolted back up. I'll test it again to make sure that everything works right. Okay, so it's up. Do an auto down. Okay. All looks good, sounds good. Okay, no binding, no noises. There we go. Good to go. Okay, all right. Now, I will finally put the door card and the speaker and that cover back in place. So, okay, here we go. Okay, I thought I'd update because I was wondering where to put that little wire for the motor control, and it goes behind the plastic. And I did find out or discover there's a little recess right here where my finger is pointing, and you can get this little loop to drop down into that little recess, and it'll go behind the speaker and it won't get pinched. I was starting to put stuff together and it felt like it was pinching, and so I explored and I found that it's a little tiny cutout kind of just for that. And so find that for your window control harness, and then it does snap in. There's a little hole in the thing right here, and it'll snap in there and hold that clip in place, and then you're good to go. Okay, a little bit further on, this metal thing is held in by those 3 little Phillips screws. Got the plastic all in place. This one, these 2 green bolts here and here are where these long, about 2-inch bolt is that really anchors the door card to the door frame. So you want to make sure you get those back in place for sure, because that will make it to where you can oh, there's the other one. Make it to where you can open or close your door. Well, I had an extra 10mm bolt, and I had taken this one out because I thought maybe it was part of the window regulator, but it was not. So I'm glad I saw that, and we'll put that back. That's actually part of the door levers. So anyways, there, no extra parts left over at the end. I got the little whip here for the puddle light when you open the door. That's what that goes to. This is the window switch. Got the speakers reconnected. That comes down here. The tweeter is in place. Man, the bane of a 25-year-old plastics on a car. This little jobber here clips in right there, covers the tweeter, and then snaps in over here. This one is smoked right here. And then the one for the other side, I don't even know where it's at, is one of these little clips is broken, and so it doesn't latch in right here. So I was gonna maybe wedge some foam tape or something in here on the passenger side to try to get that little bezel to hold in place. And I may put a little piece of love it, plastics. Yep, there you go. That's what you run into when you're working on cars from the 90s. Okay, next stop should be all buttoned up. Okay, bolting the door back together. Got these two little deals in here. There's little plastic covers that cover that, and they literally just clip to the head of the screw. Did break one again. 90s plastic. There, one of these long bolts is actually behind the switch controls, so you have to. Oh, it didn't. It landed on the speaker lip. Okay. So it goes right there, and then the other one goes right here. This one's pretty obvious. This one was more hidden and was a little frustrating until I realized what was going on. So, okay, there's 4 screws. 1, 2, 3, 4 little Phillips head screws that go along the bottom of the door card. I got the 2 main bolts in. I'll put our little cover back. So that's covered. Those are covered. Okay. Now this, excuse me. This control switch is actually, I was bumping the seats, is actually reverse of the Camrys. I remember when I was trying to figure out, when I was troubleshooting the window, I actually swapped out the controller because it was just so intermittent. It didn't act like the motor was failing, but it was. I thought maybe it was the switch. So I replaced the whole switch panel here. It's reverse of the Camrys. So the Avalon, I couldn't find a video when I was doing it, so let's show that again. Avalon, the bottom goes in, and then the top snaps. Whereas in a Camry, the top goes in, and then the bottom clips into place. I couldn't find a video on this, and so it was just bothering the crap out of me. You can see where I kind of got in there with a screwdriver and prying and stuff like that, and then I finally realized, oh, it's opposite of the Camry. So if you ever have to change that, pro tip, well, if you're going to be in here doing the motor, you got to get this out of the way anyways to get to that screw. So there you go, bottom first, and then clip. So if you're coming out, you're going to pry the top out, and it's the same on the passenger side. So you're going to pry on the top, and then the bottom will come out. Okay. All right, there we go. Got the puddle light on. So this actually did clip in place, even with those plastics broken right there. There was 2 pieces that clipped up here, and then the little two pieces here in the back that snapped. So all that snapped in, so that's still in place. Door locks work. Let's check our window function. There we go. All the windows. Oh. Uh-oh. Might have another dead motor. Right rear might be bad. Yep. Looks like the right rear is bad too. Because we got left rear, right front, driver's side. Yep, might have to be doing another one. It's the rear window. Not as important. So there you go. 99 Avalon window motor. And some other pro tips like troubleshooting and stuff like that. So, okay, I think next I'm gonna rotate the tires for the girls, and this car will be back in service. Sweet. Peace. Okay, I'll wrap this video up. I was able to get this one back on. It's a little loose on this side, but I was able to get it to snap in here on the front where the clips were still good. But it's holding. So yeah, that one's good. This one's good. I'll wash the window, get my fingerprints off of it. Just, you know, we love this car for the kids. It's a great kids car. Very comfortable, very, you know, it's got AC, tape deck, you don't see that, CD player. We've got a little Bluetooth FM adapter for it. So it's pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Only has 98,000 miles. Called the grandma car because we inherited it from my wife's grandma. When she passed away, we got it with 52,000 miles on it about 5 years ago. We've been driving it. So the next big thing in a few thousand miles will be, well, about 1,200 miles. So I need to start gathering parts. Timing belt, water pump, and if there's any tensioners or idlers in there too. So that'll be a big one. That'll be a biggie for sure. But yeah, these 100,000 mile timing belt service is coming up. But anyways, that's the car. There you go. Oh yeah, this one cracks me up because so it's a bench seat. So it's six seat belts, bench seat, column shift, wiper control, cruise control, and then here's your lights and blinkers. So it's got a triple stick on the right hand side. It cracks me up. And then I think, oh yeah, down here there's the tilt column. So yep. Oh, and how about the shout out for the Toyota crotch vent? Cracks me up every time driving it in the summertime. Get that cold air blowing up your leg. Oh man, cracks me up. Alrighty, well, hope this was helpful. And good luck wrenching. Okay, well there you got it. Tires are rotated. Repaired the window motor and regulator on the driver's side. Got everything all back together. It's good to go. So the only tip, the hardest part for me during this whole project was unbolting the window from the bad regulator because the window was stuck up, and so the carrier for the window was all the way up here, and the only way I could get it was with a wrench. I have to stick the wrench up in there and work it like that. Probably if I'd done it differently, since I know now, I was just replacing the whole regulator and motor unit, probably would just cut the cable that controls the carrier, cut that cable and let the window slide down, and then you could get to those two bolts that bolt to the window. You get to them a whole lot easier than having to fight with. And that it would probably relieve the tension, because it was under a lot of tension where that window was pushed all the way up and that motor was locked with that cable in the full up position. So that probably would have made that job a little bit easier. All in all, it wasn't terrible. I remember working in shops, man, the techs hated having to do window regulators. They just hated it, and it's probably more so the tediousness of taking the doors apart and worried about breaking the plastics than it was the actual job itself. So all in all, easy peasy job. This car, it's running right now, and you can barely hear it. It's so quiet. Rides so smooth. Got the old 15-inch tires with a lot of sidewall. This thing's just a highway cruiser, man. AC, comfy seats. So there you go. One day I may upgrade the head unit, put in like an Android CarPlay unit, just to make the Bluetooth a little bit more seamless. But yeah, there you go.